It starts with a nebula, which is essentially just a bunch of stuff. This stuff is drawn together by gravity, and as it clumps together into a big ball, the energy increases. This in turn makes it hotter, which causes some of the stuff, hydrogen nuclei to be specific, to undergo nuclear fusion. This really hot clump of stuff is what stars are. It's what our star is. After this procedure, the star enters a period of its life that is both long and stable, much like when a billionaire retires at around 30. The core of the star, where the nuclear fusion happens, is constantly pushing outwards, which balances out the force of gravity trying to squeeze everything inwards. This period of a star's life usually lasts a few billion years. Our Sun is in this period of its life, and is known as a main sequence star because of it. Eventually, the hydrogen nuclei used in the fusion reaction is depleted. As it is running out, the star swells into a red giant, or, if it was particularly fat as a main sequence star, a red supergiant. The reason why it changes to red is because the surface is colder, which seems counterintuitive. Hydrogen fusion stops, and fusion of other elements, such as helium, occurs in its place. In the core, elements heavier than iron, or iron itself, are produced. A red giant evicts its outer layer of stuff for not being able to pay its hydrogen rent, caused by instability in the star. This leaves behind the solid core, known as a white dwarf, not a red dwarf, that's a comedy series. This later becomes a black dwarf, once it has cooled to the point it is no longer emitting a significant amount of energy. A red supergiant, however, glows brighter as it undergoes more fusion reactions. It grows and shrinks repeatedly, until it explodes into what's known as a supernova. A supernova is full of planets and stars. At least it creates a bunch of planets and stars. The explosion of the supernova evicts the outer layer of stuff from the original star in a much more violent way. Presumably it was a particularly unpleasant tenant. This leaves behind the core, much like a normal red giant, except it's larger and denser. If the star is big enough, it may even form a black hole, which is essentially the universal toilet bowl's flush mechanism. A black hole is a point in space which nothing can escape from. No light, no matter, no energy, and, much like the flush mechanism on a toilet, not even poo. And that is how the life cycle of a star ends, with poo.